not with the DMV. I've lived here in Salt Lake most of my life. Not that that matters. I did serve in the military for 4 years. Kind of proud of that because one of the great things about America is the privilege of the freedom of speech like we have today, the freedom of religion and stuff like that, right? So I'm just going to take up a few minutes of your time, not to make it too painful, hopefully. So I appreciate your attentiveness. I saw a video recently on YouTube, and it was kind of neat. And it went like this: there was people standing in line before their judgment seat there, if you will. Before that great day we stand before our Maker. So there was a great row of people, kind of maybe like this morning, and they were getting ready to step on the scale. Getting ready to step on the scale, and the scale was like a round deal, and on this side it said bad, very bad person, and on the other side of the scale it said you're a good person. So they get, whoever at the door, angel or whoever, say, hand me your folder before you step on the scale and see how you did. There's 3 people I'm going to tell you about briefly. The first person, she said, he's looking through this folder of her life, and she's like, well, yeah, I know I cheated on a couple tests in school, and the magazines I looked at, I only read the articles, wink wink, not the bad ones. I was just reading the articles. But she was trying to justify herself by saying, well, doesn't your good outweigh your bad? Because I've done good things. Well, go ahead and step on the scale, let's see. So she steps on the scale, and the scale goes like this. It starts going up like this, and then it goes back down to a very bad person, like all of us. Number 2 person, he goes, hands the gentleman his folder to see how his life was, how he lived his life. He goes, I was baptized. I went to church quite often. And I was very, very, very sincere. I really meant it too. Well, let's see how you do. Step on the scale. So, he steps on the scale, and it goes like this. It starts going up like he's a good person, and it drops. It says, oh, he's a bad person, like me. The Bible says there's no one that's good, and we're all very bad in our own hearts. If you break one of the 10 commandments, you're guilty of all, according to the Bible. That's the bad news. So number 3 person, he comes up to the scale, gets ready to see how he does, and he kind of looks down, humble at heart, and he hands the folder of his whole life, and and instead of him stepping on the scale, somebody else does, the Son of God, Jesus Christ. So Jesus steps on the scale, and the scale goes like this though. Instead of being a bad person, it's the only one that does good, right? Makes sense? And then the 3rd person goes off, and they go off to eternal bliss, if you will. And the people are raging in the background. They're saying, that's not fair, that's not fair. And so it is. It isn't fair because that's why it's a gift. And it's God's grace. It would allow even one person to go to heaven because of what he did on the cross 2,000 years ago. Christ became sin for us who knew no sin, so that we may become the righteousness of God in him. My friend's going to speak to you for a few moments. If you could give me your attention, you'd greatly